time. Oh my gosh. Yay. This is girls drinking wine and playing games. Let's go around, do a quick round of introductions, say what we're drinking, who we are, who our special guest is, and then talk about the game. Awesome. Okay. I'm Raven, she, her pronouns. I am drinking honeyed mead in my glass right now.
Fancy.
Right. I try. I am a board game designer. I'm working on a couple games, all of them dealing with food, because I love food. Food's a big part of my life. And I am in surprisingly sunny Michigan right now, enjoying this pretend spring that we're having. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Chidi, and I'm drinking a rosé. I have my mommy cup. That's what I drink my wine from these days. My daughter can tip it over and break it. So I am in the Woodlands in Texas. I'm a game designer, and my games, well, two of them are about birds, and one is about studying. So I'm an educator by training. So my games are education based. So yeah, welcome to the show. I'm excited.
Yeah. Hi everybody, I'm Sarah, she, her. I have a little company called Big Girl Games, and I have two games I'm working on right now. My big game is a water-based cooperative deck builder, and my little game is not really so little. It's a strategic dice drafting roll and write. That's a mouthful. About dino fairies, because why not?
I know. Sounds exciting.
I am drinking Apothic Dark. I have the bottle because I will be drinking more than my very dainty, tiny little glass. It's so pretty. So yes, I felt like it had a very gothic feel that went nicely with the game.
Yeah, I feel like that fits. Hi, I'm Visioness. I am a content creator on Twitch. YouTube, I have some tutorial videos for Twilight Imperium 4 and introducing you to the TTS platform. I'm co-founder of Franken Friday, if anyone knows what that is, and I am drinking white tonight.
Hi there, I'm Kirsten Lund. I'm a American expatriate from California and Colorado, living in beautiful New Zealand. Yay! I've got a company, Looking Glass Workshop. It's beautiful here. Looking Glass Workshop is my company. I'm working on a few games, but the big one is a classical composers game called Ovation, in which I feature a female composer and a Black composer that I didn't know about until I started creating the game, and I'm really excited about the representation there. I am drinking a Sauv Blanc here from New Zealand, from Mount Riley, in honor of my son, Riley.
Oh, that's so cute. Hi, everyone. I'm Jacqueline, she, her pronouns. I come from the land of New York City. There is a Pudgy Cat next to me who represents Pudgy Cat Games, so she may or may not make an appearance throughout the show tonight. I am also a game designer. I am working on a game about packing cats in a suitcase. Oh, here's the cat. I have been working on a couple other games at the same time because I can't just stick to one thing. I also do game reviews. So I've been doing a lot of those in my spare time, and I am drinking a reserve Chardonnay out of a very large glass tonight. And I'm going to turn it over to our special guest, Eric.
Yeah.
So Eric can introduce himself and tell us a little bit more about what's about to happen.
Welcome.
Thanks so much for having me on. So my name's Eric Yurko. I use he, him pronouns. I'm with What's Eric Playing, a board game photography and review website. Since I'm breaking all the rules tonight, I'm actually drinking a gin and tonic. So this is the Hendrix Lunar gin combined with I have a butterfly pea blossom simple syrup that I've been working on that when you add tonic water to it, changes from like a dark blue to a light purple. So it makes every drink more exciting.
Awesome.
That sounds amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a good time.
That sounds magical.
Cool. Well, we'll call that an honorary wine, just because, you know.
It came out of a bottle or two.
Hey, Rachel from Resonym is here, and we're getting ready to play her game.
I am excited to play this game.
Yeah. So Eric brought
Yeah.
us this game. It's headed to Kickstarter. Is it headed to Kickstarter or is it headed straight to retail? I don't know the answer
I believe
to that.
Kickstarter is later this month.
Nice. Well, that's
Yeah.
exactly what we want to do is showcase games that are headed to Kickstarter for companies and designers that may not always have the biggest platform. So super excited to play this. But tell us a little
I'm happy to talk you through the game if you want.
Yeah.
Cool. So Ghost Writer, and I may have a little bit of my lore slightly off. When I'm writing reviews, I tend to just kind of make my own lore, and I start forgetting where the actual game lore ends, where the stuff I've just made up comes. But in Ghost Writer, you are competing to like talk to spirits, essentially. So you've got some mediums, you've got some spirits, and they're going to do their best to very like spookily answer your questions so that you can learn about this mysterious word that they want to try and help you out. So you'll be broken up into two teams. There's the sun team and the moon team. Each team will have one spirit and some number of mediums. So how the game works is the spirits will collaboratively decide on a word that they want to clue to everyone else. The word will be usually picked off of cards in the game. For the online version that we're using, it will be automatically generated, and we'll have a few options. So the two spirits will decide on some options, and then we'll turn it over to the mediums. So the sun team will go first. I'll probably take on the role of sun spirit so I can walk us through the first turn. And essentially, the mediums will have a hand of cards. They can ask any two of the 7 question cards they have in their hand by selecting them and passing them to the ghost. The ghost the spirit will choose one to answer, and I think either discard or pass back the other one. And then they will type one letter at a time, very spookily, to answer the question. Ghosts are never known for being rapid. They all have to sort of bang a few pans together, make some TV static, and just like one letter at a time. When you think you have enough information, you say silencio to the ghost to get them to stop typing. Because the other team gets to see the answer, they just don't get to see the question. And then the turn will turn over to the moon team, and then back and forth. Instead of giving the ghost a question card in your turn, you may also instead decide to guess the word. If you try to guess the word, you will type, I think this is just maybe it's a ghost thing, it's just how they communicate, but like you'll type one letter at a time back to the ghost. It's like it's a polite overture, right? Like, I see you doing one letter at a time. I'll do one letter at a time back. And the ghost kind of raises their eyebrows. And you're like, it's a whole thing. It's very polite. And the ghost, that is absolutely correct. The Curse of Rhetoric has it absolutely right. Ghosts do have horrible WPO. But so what'll happen is when you type a letter, the ghost will knock to confirm that letter is accurate. If not, they'll just say incorrect, and you will have spookily lost the rest of your turn. You can't ever use the word spooky enough when you're talking about a ghost game. It's just the thing I've learned as like a writing technique. And so play will keep going back and forth until one player has correctly guessed, or you have used up all of the available rounds, in which case I guess you lose. We've never gotten to that point, so something to shoot for.
This sounds like a great game to play while you're drinking, I feel like.
Yeah. It really does. It really does.
We are ready.
I like word games, and I like word guessing games a lot as well. So like this plus a little bit spookier is very appealing to me. And I have had a chance to see like some of the final art that the game is going to have, and it looks incredible. So that's also something that's really, really been nice. Oh, running out of spaces results in the tie. Thank you. I'm the one thing I'm terrible at is ties in games, because I'm always just like, you both win. I'm lazy. And so like somewhere someone is working on like really intense and like specific tiebreakers, and like this is gonna really decide the game, and then like me coming along, I'm just like, you both win. Who has time to read the rules? I'm just out here living the dream. But let me get this bad boy set up. Enter my name, choose the sun spirit, copy the game link. That's weird. That wasn't working earlier. My like copy paste bugged out earlier today on my keyboard, but it seems to be back up.
Sarah?
Oh, she's back.
There she is.
Peekaboo.
Sarah.
Testing out being a spirit, Sarah.
The ghosts are like already swarming.
No, that was the appropriate level of spooky. Like you just kind of need to be like slightly out of frame and then just like come back in. But... yeah, you get it.
There you go.
Yeah. So generally speaking, when you're playing the game, the spirits will be in the same room together. And so will the mediums. But for a variety of we're doing this live reasons, we're just gonna don't tell people what you're going to do, but try and communicate with your partner if you can, either by being like, oh, should we do like the second question card from the left? And if they're like, yes, that sounds good. It's vague, but I think everyone will be able to see my screen. So they'll be able. So you in the chat will have the benefit of already knowing the answer. So please do not drop any super spooky spoilers.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah. So we will figure out how to do this once everyone's joined up.
I will say I've always wanted to be a medium. I don't think I would be good at it, but I've always wanted to try it.
That's fair. I think at a certain point you can just be like, I hear the spirits. Like my mother would never let me get a Ouija board because I think she wasn't superstitious, but she was risk averse. I think is probably the fairest way I can say it.
That's
It's like
valid.
It's like I don't necessarily believe in ghosts, but like who wants to take that kind of a risk? And I'm like,
Exactly.
it's a very
Just
specific thing to plan for, but yeah.
So
Okay.
I think when I got dumped out, I missed the link.
Okay, that's fine. I can dump it back in.
There we go.
Perfect.
All right. Okay.
Okay. That is why
There we go.
alkali metal has been so helpful. I'm like, alkali metal, how do you know all of these mysterious things? And I was like, oh, they made the website. Thank you.
All right. So we're just waiting on Chidi to come join us.
Okay.
What I like about this game already is that it's one of those games that if you're having a theme night, it would fit in really nicely.
Yeah.
Like you could just light some candles, have like a tablecloth over a table that's like very, mysterious looking. It would be fun. It would be super fun for a theme night.
All right.
Yeah, even for just Halloween in general, like anything around the October month.
All right, we are in. So my co-spirit and I are going to choose between the 6 objects that you see on the screen. So we discuss. We should not click. So out of these,
We discussed. Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning 1 or 3. How do you feel about 1 or 3?
So,
I don't know if anybody checked out the website, but I feel like 1 was on the website.
It was.
Oh.
hey, we're not supposed to be looking.
I'm not supposed
I
to
was
look at
hoping
the
you would
screen.
say
Are we
that
supposed to be averting our eyes?
Yes, we are.
Now what do we do?
That's fine.
Small. We're good.
That happens. So did anyone see the 6 options?
No, I did not.
No.
Okay.
I can't see.
That's fine. Okay, if that's the case, then let's do 3.
Let's do 3. I'm down. So I just hit choose it? You
Yep,
chose
so
it. Okay.
I'll pick, and it looks like we've got, Moon Team's going first. All right.
Ooh.
So if you are on the Moon Team, now you're going to use your Moon magic to select which of the question cards you want to pick and submit them to Kirsten.
All right,
wow.
Moon Team. What are you feeling?
Oh,
like
wait, the Sun Team go first? Okay, my bad.
Oh.
All right, Sun team.
Whoever has questions. Oh, it just swaps the positions. Oh, okay.
I don't know what team I'm on. I have a blank.
If you look at the bottom, do you see a sun or a moon?
At bottom left corner.
Yeah.
I see a blue screen.
Oh.
So like I see a sun, so I believe
Yeah,
I'm
I see a
on.
moon.
I see a moon.
Yeah, I just went blue, and that's all I see.
Wild.
Huh.
Hmm.
Well, you might be. Who else is on the Sun team as a medium? Because I think there's at least Jacqueline, and then Chitty maybe. I don't know.
Did you choose Raven's team or my team?
I didn't choose. I just saw the object and then it went blue.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, that may be what happened. All right, that's fine.
Oh.
In that case, I'll quick restart. So let me spool up a new one.
I can also just observe.
No sweat. Okay, let me do this. Copy the game link. All right. Thank you all for bearing with us.
I love
You know
how
how it
fast it is. It's so fast to like start a game.
It is.
That's
It is. I'm still gonna be on the moon team. And let's see. Kirsten is our spirit, right?
Yes, I am your moon spirit. That's
Excellent.
Thank
Thanks to me.
you.
Okay.
We're going to channel our Kirstenness.
Our feminine moon goddesses. Yes.
Apparently, my fan is not working. I don't know.
Oh, mine. Yeah. I got
Or the
I
line
was like,
is.
I got an air circulator the other day, and I'm like, isn't that just a fancy name for a fan? And they're like, yeah.
What to say?
Yeah.
Sadie, you need
Yeah,
to pick medium on one of the two teams. There
Okay,
you
cool. Cool. So now I've got 3 sun mediums, there are 2 moon mediums, and we are ready to start. Okay. I'm liking 1 or 6.
I enjoy 1.
Okay. Let's do 1. All right. Sun team. Choose 2 questions and hit me.
all right.
How about
Ooh, these are hard questions.
right?
Yes. That's actually the fun part about this game is that
Yeah.
you can't necessarily see the questions on here, and I can't tell you what questions we get. You might be able to see them on stream because I'll have the card when it's shown to me. Some of the questions are very fun.
I'm liking question 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one seems like something we have a good shot potentially of getting correctly.
Maybe it'll like narrow it down a little bit. Do you want to click Ask Spirit on question 2?
Okay.
Should be able to select 2 of them, yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so you can ask one more, I believe. Or you can ask one more and then I'll choose it for 2.
Maybe 6?
6 or 3, I would think.
Oh. I'm fine with either one of those.
All right, I'm going to click 6 then.
6 is good.
Ooh. Okay. Okay, let me think here.
Oh.
Okay, so now I gotta think about. So you on the stream can see what my 2 question options are. I'm gonna choose one of those questions to answer, and once I have successfully had an entire thought, I will come up with something. So let me see here. I'm just trying to.
Are we on the moon team allowed to see what you're typing to the sun team?
Yes, it'll actually
Okay,
stay in that spot.
Okay. All right, good. So we're getting the benefit of both of the spirits.
Yeah.
Except that you don't know the question.
Yeah,
for
you don't see the
other
question.
spirit.
You just see the answers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't watch the stream.
Yeah, so don't look directly at the stream.
It's funny too because it's like don't look directly at the sun, don't look directly at
Yeah,
the moon.
There you go.
Okay, let me see here. Oh man. Okay, I think I'm gonna pick this one, and I am going to spookily type and answer 1 character at a time. Remember, to stop me. Yeah, they get it. To stop me, just say Silencio.
I want to watch Eric being spooky, but I can't.
Oh, I'm not getting any of that.
Okay, I'm done.
That was
so
a
once I've typed my entire thing.
Interesting. So now we're supposed to infer which question you're answering and then utilize that information to figure out what the word
You
is.
should not be looking at the question. If you're moon team, you're not looking at the question.
Yeah, you should look at your
Yeah.
own screen rather than the stream directly, because the stream has a bunch of extra information that is for me and Kirsten, the spookiest ghosts.
Right. But Sun Team submitted 2 questions, and that's only the answer to one of them,
Yep.
right?
Yep. And
Right,
so
but you don't
if
know
you
the
look at
questions
if you
this
are on the
time.
Sun Team, click on Show Past Questions. It'll show you which question got answered, I believe.
Oh, it does. Nice.
Yes, so that also helps you, so that makes it even
cool.
easier. Okay, and then I think
Ooh.
cool. So now I believe the Moon Team can do their thing.
All right, Moon Team. What are we thinking? I kind of like 6.
Yeah, 6 is good. I'm for it. Do it. Ask it.
And what other one do we like?
Maybe number 3.
I was thinking that too. I feel like that's a good potential option.
Yeah. Let's go for 3. All right.
They are submitted. Let's see
All
what we
right.
get.
Okay. I'm watching for my answers. I was not getting answers earlier.
Ooh, that's a good tip from Alkali Metal.
Yeah.
Are you
What was the
typing?
tip? I'm not looking at the stream. What was the tip?
Oh, the tip is that it's useful to make sure the mediums know what the question is before starting to type.
Okay. All right. Do you see the question?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, spooky.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Silencio.
There you go.
Nice.
You gotta get in theme. The ghosts are like, stop. What is?
Ooh.
I feel like I need a magic wand or something here.
I'm typing in English.
Will that
I'm
work?
typing in English, but you can only tell me to stop in Latin or whatever
Right.
that is.
Them ghosts are tricky. All right. Hit me with your best shot, Sun Team.
Oh.
All right. Some Pat Benefit.
What are you guys feeling?
Does the chat have votes?
But don't forget the chat. The chat might know the word.
That's true. Chat might know.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
How do you guys feel about number 4?
That could be an interesting one. I think either number 4 or I'd like number 6 as well.
Why not both?
Sounds good to me.
I'm already out of wine in my dainty little cup.
I'm
refilled.
All right. I am ready.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Oh boy.
All right, I'm watching.
Okay. Do my mediums have the question?
Yes.
Okay. Let's try this.
Ooh. Interesting. Silencio.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Moon Team, I have an idea, but do we want to play it safe and try another question, or do we want to try to guess?
If you're confident, go for it. So we get to type our answers in the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So whoever wants to guess, they would just click on that moon answer thing, and they would type it one letter at a time. And Kirsten would knock if the letter is right. And I don't remember what they do for incorrect, because my teams have always gotten it right. But also, I think I would just say you're fine saying incorrect.
Well, do we want to play it safe and see if the Sun Team knows where it's at next round, or should we try for a guess and see what you think?
I think you should let the Sun Team win, personally.
Well, just for that, I think we might need to guess.
I was like, if you just
I
put it,
agree.
you put it
I
out.
agree.
You have it, but okay.
All right. I want to try this. Let's see if it's
Do
right.
it. Do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Oh no!
that was my spooky answer.
That was
That
spooky.
was amazing.
So
That was
the,
great.
Now, do we leave?
yeah, you leave the end still there.
Okay.
All right, Sun Team.
Now,
What y'all got for me?
What
Or
do
you
we
can guess
got?
if you want.
How about number 2? That could be a good question.
Yeah, let's do that one, and then. Number 7. I don't know if you guys are into that sort of thing.
That worries me, but now I'm curious.
I'm really interested just to see what the clue would be in response to that. So yeah, let's do it.
Ooh, that's a good idea. So somebody said, let's put the incorrect letter here in brackets. So I'm going to do that so we know that that's wrong.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea. Thank you for the tip. I'm trying to not look at their screen, but still read the chat.
Oh yeah, I always pop out the Twitch chat.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I should do.
Let me think here. I mean, I know what answer I would give one of them, but I feel like that's gonna get lost. So we'll use this one.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I don't think this is gonna. Oh well. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Time to get spooky.
Okay. All right, we're ready.
I have no idea.
I'm so curious about their question.
I'm so limited by this tenuous connection I have to the mortal realm.
I'm impressed you remember what filing nails are in your spirit self.
What can I say?
Okay, my moon medium.
Spooky hygiene is paramount.
All right.
Oh, also, since the moon team now has uncovered an I space, so you in the chat can see the I next to that question, the moon team can choose any spot on the board, so either under the moon answers or any of the sun answers, and demand that the spirit add an additional letter to that space. Note that for y'all's benefit, if it has a period, it's done.
All
All
right.
right. Moon medium, which one do we want to add something to?
If you want.
I feel like we're gonna get the same letter on both of the two that are
That's
not
probably a good
connected.
guess. Let's go for the sun one then, because
Yeah,
that seems like a good choice.
Yeah,
All right.
add a letter to the sun.
I have felt your communion from beyond the pale, and you've benefited from this letter.
Ooh.
Yeah, as expected. Okay.
It's a spooky little mystery you just solved.
All right.
Maybe not. Maybe number 6.
Yeah. I think 3 could be interesting too.
Yeah. I have an idea of what it might be, but I'm not sure. So yeah, let's see what happens. Did you click on those by any chance?
I just clicked 6, and I'm going to click
All right.
3.
I did.
Right.
I did. I beat you to it. Ha.
All right. Well. Okay. Interesting.
Did we stump you?
So one of them I'm not. No. I know I can answer multiple words, so I think I'm going to answer this one. The chat can't see my question, can they?
Mm-mm. No, they can only get my unfiltered view. For better or worse.
Oh, you have my question, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know which question I'm answering? Moon,
Yes.
moon medium
Yes.
maidens?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Oh my gosh. Silencio.
What question was that?
What do you like to know?
It's a spooky little mystery. The problem is I feel like I know the question, but I also know the answer, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, Sun Team.
Oh
you can
my
choose,
gosh.
You can choose any one spot for the ghost to add another answer to, which I would assume is the first moon answer because it's the only spot that you can choose.
Sounds like about right, I think.
Since that's the only one left.
Right.
You want me to do it?
Go for it.
Please illuminate us.
How do you guess?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Wow.
The mystery is solved.
And so now we have to pick from these questions, and I don't know which one would be the best.
I'm looking at our questions, and I like our number 7. Have you looked at that one, Jacqueline?
I do really like that one. We might have to ask that just out of curiosity.
All right. Let's narrow this down. I'm thinking questions 4 and 6.
Hmm.
Oh, that sounded serious.
I like 6.
Serious.
I'm getting serious. I am like ready to win this game.
That's the spirit.
No,
that's the spirit, Eric.
She's the medium.
Incredible. Thank you.
I love it.
All right. Do you guys disagree with 4 and 6?
6 is good. I'm wondering.
What about 2?
2.
Let's try that. Let's try 2 and 6 and see which one pops up.
Our spirit answers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great spirit. Bestow upon us some knowledge.
I guess.
No. Those aren't good spirit sounds.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh man. I mean, that's technically. You know what? Okay. I don't think that's. You know what? Whatever. I'm making the rules today. Okay, let's see here. All right, time to get spooky. Spooky mysteries abound.
Indeed.
All right, that rules out my potential guess of like some form of a button, because I was like, they're not metal. That's the only thing I was trying to figure out. They don't rust.
Yeah.
Button clasp. All right, Sarah.
Hey, Moon.
So we want to do 7, just out of curiosity. What
Yes.
else do you think would be useful?
Yes. I don't know.
Maybe 4?
Yeah, maybe.
Or 6?
Maybe.
6 might also be helpful.
Yeah, I looked at 6 as well. So, I mean, I'm definitely sending 7 because it's so funny. And so, yeah, 4 or 6. I think those are both good ones.
Let's go with 6.
Okay,
Let's
I'll
do
let
it.
you pick that one. Yeah.
Okay.
You know which one I hope she uses, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be particularly helpful.
But it would be very interesting to have the answer to this.
Oh, it would.
Oh man, the suspense.
Our messages are taking an extra long time to get here to spooky realms today. Yep.
Also, if at any point on your turn you want to
I'm not seeing that.
discard your hand and redraw, there's a trash icon on the bottom right of the screen that only the mediums can use to discard their 7 cards and redraw 7 new ones. You can use that once per game.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And is that a turn?
I am not seeing the question.
No.
Oh, we've sent them.
Interesting.
Well,
should I try hitting a button again and see if
am I allowed to refresh the page?
I think if you, I don't know what happens if you refresh.
Can try.
So I would say
You'll
try hitting
have to
buttons.
go
Yeah, I'm concerned about that.
back inside, but it should let you back into the same game if you go back in through the link. Because I got out. Had to leave at one point and was able to get back in.
Right, I'm not sure what happens if the spirit.
And you
does
tried
that,
clicking again?
I just clicked back on the link that Eric had given us in the private chat, and then just rejoined with my name and went back to where I went right back through the whole process, and it let me right back in.
Yeah.
In the comments, though, it says if you log back in as the medium, it will work, but spirits are kind of broken.
Yeah, so don't leave if you're a spirits.
Here, let me see if I hit a different Ask Spirit button, if it'll show up on your screen.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see anything now?
I still have my last question. That's all I've got.
No, we've sent you like 4 questions now.
Sarah, do you want to try clicking on another one? Because you sent the first one, and maybe you...
Nope. All right, I've sent another one. No.
As I see them disappearing on my screen.
I don't see any. I'm just going to start typing my name. Tell me if you can see it, if I'm able to communicate with you.
Yes.
We can see that.
Okay, you want to message? You want to message me the questions?
Sure.
Yeah, if you just message the
See
question,
if
that'll
it'll
be fine.
catch me up at some point.
All right. So
in Discord maybe, or
yeah.
All right.
I remember the one I sent.
Okay, I'll send the other one.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening there, but
All right, I just sent you the first question we sent you.
I'm trying to remember the wording of the other
okay.
one.
That's the one we hope you answer.
I can't remember the exact wording, so I'm just going to send you one of the other ones that's on the screen right now for the sake of.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't even remember.
I did not drop messages to you. Hold on. There you go.
There we go. Oh, heavens. Okay. So I'm answering Sarah's.
Okay. This is the one we really want to know the answer to anyway.
I know, because it's going to be so helpful.
You could tell us on the other team if you want.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a really good question, you can tell all of us.
Oh no. Oh.
Silencio. I don't know. That's probably the end of it.
What did they ask?
Right?
I was wondering the same thing. Wow.
Does punctuation count as?
I don't know, but that's fascinating, guys.
It really is.
There's so many different
I don't
things. Yeah.
Come back. Yeah, I don't know what's glitchy, but.
All right, Sun Team, what you got?
So, out of curiosity, those who've played this before, are we doing really poorly, or are we like on par with how you usually do?
I can't answer that question as a spirit. I'm sorry.
That's fair. It's not on the scope of question asking, I guess.
Right? Yeah. It's one of those questions that when they ask the ghost is just like, I don't. If it's not written on a card, I can't really interact with it. You know what I mean?
Right. What I think is cool though is when I play tested it, there weren't cards yet, so that was even something we had suggested, just because we were coming up with questions, and I really like that change, and I like the questions that they've come up with. So kudos, guys.
I like that the cards are weird.
I have a question that maybe somebody from Resonym can answer, and that is, we can still see one card here for the Moon Team, and I'm wondering if we can go ahead and hit the trash icon to maybe bring our next set of cards up. I don't know if that will help, because we've only got one question and it hasn't refreshed.
That's what I would recommend trying. Like, we're already in kind of a not a null state, but we're in kind of an odd state. So you might as well. Worst case, we break it a little more. I'd only give it the one card back.
It only gave us one. It only gave us one card back.
All right.
All right, then we'll have to get creative, or the Sun Team will have to win it this turn.
Or we'll have
no pressure or anything.
Right.
Not at all.
Me just throwing some stuff out there. Just
all right.
Being the change I want to see in the world.
Let's see. So, thinking about the stuff that we know so far. I really like question 2.
That could be helpful. I don't know. The rest of the questions, I was actually going to propose, I don't know if we wanted to just trash this whole hand of cards and get brand new ones, or if we want to save it, or what. Just a thought.
I'm scared because if we trash it and the questions we get are worse.
Oh, then we're in for a wild ride.
That is a valid point.
To be fair, the Moon Team basically has to.
Is not bad.
Like, the Moon Team might have to make up questions after this, so
Yeah.
we're gonna make it work.
So that's our advantage, right?
I guess.
We've been blessed by the game. We can't waste it.
Yes, exactly.
Now, if we guess this turn and we're wrong, they've already guessed once and we're wrong too. So we'll be sort of like on the same wrong level if we just throw out a guess.
That's
levels of wrong.
If that's how that works, then yes.
I don't know. For me, it's questions 2 and 5 or yes.
Do you have a guess? Because I'm gonna level with you. I don't. So
I don't either.
All right, Moon Team, cover your ears so that we can chat for just a second without opposing team listening in.
Throw it in the private chat when you're ready for us. I'll mute while you're doing this.
All right. All right. So my thought is it's the size of a matchbox, which is small.
yes.
It would be slow to rust, which means eventually it could rust. So it's probably something metal. It would be really bad at filing nails. And it's something like a button clasp. So what does that really leave us with? Like things that secure things, small. So
I'm turning
thinking,
off my camera so you can't read my face for any of my reactions.
Gotcha.
I want to have no professional opinion here.
I'm thinking like safety pin or I'm thinking safety pin. What else clasps things that's small like a matchbox?
What
magnet.
A buckle
magnet.
or something? Like I'm thinking like a belt buckle kind of, but
A belt buckle is not a bad.
It's about the right shape, right size.
right. There's that matchbox size is what's getting me. Like what,
Would be that big.
Ooh, what about the they're not paper clips, but they're the special ones with the black plastic on them. Are they binder clips? I don't know.
A binder clip?
Yeah. That might be too specific though. I don't know.
You're thinking like something, maybe it's not like the only thing that's making me think like safety pin or something like that is that one of theirs says sewing. So it's got to be something to do.
You're right.
True.
But Velcro wouldn't ever rust. So
No.
definitely not Velcro.
No.
I'm not a sewer, guys.
Me neither.
There's one of the hooks.
Also, the sewing could be one of those questions what it couldn't be used for. That's a really broad question that anything goes.
That's true. I don't know what closing bad guys is.
That's that and many times daily. I'm just like, what meets both of those criteria? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I say we go with safety pin or magnet or something like, or what was the other one we came up? Oh, belt buckle. I think we should just throw one of them out there.
Okay.
So the variety it comes in is button clasp. Okay, which one should we go with then? I think either the pin or the magnet works. Do you guys want us to try with the?
Let's try the safety pin and see what.
See what happens.
The pin, yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's tell them that they can unmute.
This is crazy.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, me too.
What do you think?
I don't know.
I don't like being wrong, so I'm scared. All right.
I was having so much fun.
Was wrong before, it could be worse.
All right. Who wants to type to our spirit overlord.
Spirit overlord.
I'm the spirit overlord.
I think of myself as more of like a spirit representative. Like,
Is that your preferred?
To our spirit representative.
spirit alderman, like whatever the lowest possible tier of like city official is, like that's roughly where I'm at.
Oh my gosh.
All right, here we go.
Oh.
I'm scared. Crossing my fingers. Oh, great spirit.
Silencio, by the way.
Oh.
Oh man.
So we know it doesn't start with an S.
That
We
helped.
learned something.
All right, Moon Team.
All right.
All right.
We have one question, which I think is an okay question. Should we send it and see
Let's
what
ask
happens?
it and see what happens.
You
All
have a spooky eye first, if you'd like.
Well, that is true.
Oh yeah, I think the only thing they can do though is ask you about your closing bad guys.
Sure, go for it.
Oh,
Let
yeah.
us know.
Or the
at
time
end of the phrase.
doesn't have a period either. But I think it's
Oh.
the same. Which one would you like me to do?
Go for closing bad guys. See if it's a
Yeah.
space or if it's a period.
Yeah. Closing bad guys for sure. Oh, a thing owned by bad guys.
Yes, grammar.
I like it. Interesting.
So were you able to see the one question we just sent in?
I have no question again. I'm still stuck on the previous one. So you'll have to message me from the other beyond.
So what happens if you click on like show past questions and go back? Is it just a full on connection error?
It just shows me the two that I have answered before
Yeah.
the glitch.
Ah.
Nothing else. And it
Ah.
just comes back. And I haven't seen your S type either, so I'm a little out of I'm pretty far into the ether. It takes a little extra to get to me.
We don't have any.
Losing
We don't have any
contact.
questions. Yeah, we don't have any questions left in front of us, so we have to make up our own questions.
Yep, call it to make them up.
All right. Time to get creative.
Unless somebody from Resonym wants to like give us hints, so then everyone will be able to see them, I guess.
Right now, I'm like, man, I wish I sent back my preview copy already. Otherwise, I could have just drawn some questions and been like, here's the ones you get.
I have a suggestion for one question.
Okay, all right. Just send it to her, and maybe send it to me in Discord. So that I don't send the same question.
I'm so like the suspense is killing me.
Oh,
and
the
it's not
previous
even
one.
my team.
That's the previous one.
No, I haven't
Right? It's the
sent a
same one you
question
sent me
yet.
before? Okay.
I have not sent a question yet. All right, I have a question. All right, let me make sure it's not what Jacqueline's asking. Okay, all right, no, I'm asking a different one. So perfect.
I sent my question.
Yes, I have now sent mine as well.
Okay, I'll answer Sarah's. I'll type it to Jacqueline.
Okay.
Okay. Jacqueline, tell me when you've got it, and then as a spirit, I will begin to with you.
I am good.
Okay.
Silencio.
Ooh, yes, Silencio. Interesting.
All right, Sun
One
Team.
thing I think it would be is it's not it because the letter is wrong. So I'm like, what the heck could it possibly be?
All right. Well, now what are you guys thinking? I still think 2 is a good question.
I think we should do number 2 as well. What
No.
about the next one though?
2 is
I don't
good.
know.
Do we want 5 since it sort of like goes along with the first question we asked?
That's what I'm wondering, if it's too similar to like, will it give us more information, you know?
I like 3. Like, tell me, what am I supposed to do with
Right. When do I? I'd be up for that. 2 and 3. Should you?
I agree.
Okay, sweet.
Let's try that.
Question: are all of the questions things that have like things that are not yes or no answers? Just so that way, when we're thinking of questions, I can think of things that either like if they're not allowed to just be straight yes or no.
I think most of them are descriptive questions.
Okay. Cool.
This reminds me of like 20 questions meets Ouija board meets
Mysterium.
Yeah, categories. Did you guys ever play categories when you were younger?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Which one?
Okay.
Okay, do you have all of the question?
Yep.
Okay.
Silencio.
All right.
Oh my gosh!
I think I know it.
Oh my god.
Gotta survive this round.
All right. So that being said, Sarah, should we just take a guess? Like, should we brainstorm and try to think of what we think it could be? I have an idea of a possible one, but one of the answers is throwing me off.
Don't forget
so the
that
sun-
you get one more sun clue.
This is
Oh, that's
Wow.
true. That's true. Should we
Should we
what
use
should we
that?
get? Should we get another letter for this?
getting D, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We demand from you, oh spirit, another letter.
Demanding from a spirit is terrifying.
What?
All right. Can we brainstorm for a second, Sarah? Because I have
And
this
the,
Yeah.
and the sun team
Yes.
mute.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. There. You 3 have to mute.
Yeah,
What
mute.
do you think?
I'm still gonna be here, but I'm mostly just gonna contribute emotionally.
Yes.
think-
Yes.
should
We'll
I
let you
try-
ghosty mute.
Go
in the-
dark?
ghosty mode in the thing. Yeah. Maybe. All right.
All right.
Ah, God.
So
I don't
here's
know.
my
I don't know. What do you think? What are you thinking?
zipper. And the only one that doesn't make sense is filing nails. I have absolutely no idea where that one's going. But I'm
I
guessing
don't
it's
get that.
undressed. And it has to do with sewing. It would probably fit in a matchbox. It's silver. It would rust. It would replace a button clasp. Like you could use a zipper instead of a button clasp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know what the closing bad guys is for, but like
I guess you
but
can
that
zip him shut.
maybe.
Yeah, that question, I'm sorry, Chidi, I thought you were in the Sun team. That question was, so I didn't send it to you. That was, what superpower would it use?
It was a superpower one. Yeah. I figured it out.
So, I mean, I
Oh,
think
sorry,
Zipper,
Katie, I
let's
thought you were on the team too.
try it. Let's
All
tell
right.
them they can unmute. Yeah.
Oh, God.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Here
spirit
it
from the
goes.
group beyond. We're gonna take a guess.
We're gonna
And
guess.
We're gonna see how this goes.
You're gonna guess.
I will fund my children.
All right. We put our first letter in. Can you see it?
I think the ghost.
I
I
may
think
have
we
to
got
look.
it.
I'm looking at
Okay,
the stream.
I was gonna say I can knock on their behalf if you'd like.
Okay.
Okay, then let me be the first to say.
Oh
Oh.
Congratulations.
no! Well done.
Okay, what was the question for filing nail?
Oh, so it's what's an incorrect use of this?
Yeah.
So you can use a metal zipper to file a nail if you're like in a pinch. You just really shouldn't.
That was the one that threw me off. I was
Awesome.
like, what the heck does that have to do with the zipper?
I thought that the place I lost
That's
people
so
was Matchbox because I was like, it's like a little bit bigger than a Matchbox. But
Well,
it depends
I
on the
figured it would, like,
Matchbox.
Fit in it. And then I was like, sewing, like, it has to go along with that somehow.
Good job. Oh man, good job.
Mhm.
Yay.
Cheers.
That's yes. Good job. Good
Yes.
job, everybody. That was so funny.
Yeah,
So
great work.
in a normal length game, how many rounds would you play? Like,
Oh, you would just like, oh, you mean getting to this point? I mean, some people.
no. Like how many different objects would you try to guess? Is this like
Oh, I would say you
is there
go
like
for
a
one.
number?
Mm.
Okay. Because I didn't know if you like played this and then you did like another round. Like, are you going for points or it's just one team wins and you're like, yay, we win, everybody drink, we're at a party.
Yeah, basically that.
And then, awesome, that's great.
I like these kinds of games. These kinds of like, you can go as long as you feel like going.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to play until somebody wins.
Mhm.
Especially right now with what's happening in the world. My friends and I are getting together like once a week and playing Jackbox and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And this is along that same vein of just like, let's just play until we don't feel like playing anymore.
Right.
I love games like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always looking. I work in higher education, and I'm always looking for things that like I could play virtually with our students because it's just like having a camera over the physical board game and trying to do it doesn't always work. But like something like this would be fantastic for them because we could play online and they could just kind of join in and actually interact with each other, which would be really cool.
Yeah, and this worked pretty well on stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely a perfect game for streaming.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I will stop presenting my screen. There we go. We're all back.
That was fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So, I mean, while we have you here, we kind of want to pick your brain a little bit
Please.
about all kinds of stuff. So, Visioness is dying. She wants to ask a question so bad.
I do because I went through your website and I saw that you like a game that I like that I don't know a lot of people who like this game. And I was so excited. So I saw that you are a fan of Millennium Blades.
I am.
And I love that game. And I'm just dying to know how you found it, how you got into it. Do you play other collectible card games? Is that like what got you there? I just want to know so bad.
It was definitely the Yu-Gi-Oh bent of it that I was just like, I would like to play this. Millennium Blades is probably my favorite game. I love real-time games in general. I like deck builders a lot. And I like games that are way too earnest about their own theme. So like, for instance, I was playing, it's somewhere around here. It's actually there, but it's behind the logo. But there's a game I was playing called Tormented Avalon. It's a trick-taking game from WizKids. It was made by someone who was like, I want to make a trick-taking game. I love King Arthur, and no god or man can stop me. And so like it is way too much King Arthur, and I kind of love it for that because I'm just like, oh, this person is very into it. Millennium Blades, I'm loosely convinced shouldn't work. Like there had to have been a like Faustian contract that got signed in order for the game to even be like functionally playable. But
I
like
know.
it is, yeah, it's an incredible game. I love it. I do not play Hearthstone or any other like I have a what's the first one for? I have a completionism problem, as you may have guessed. But
Yeah, Hearthstone wouldn't be good for that.
no, I try to stay away from things like I used to collect pins, and people are like, oh, have you ever been to Disney World and done like the Disney pin collecting? And I'm like, no, I
It's
just try not
so
to get
fun.
into things.
Do you
So
do you go to like PAX? Because PAX is big on the pin thing too.
I do, and it has taken a lot of like emotional growth on my part to not just like lose my mind. But yes, no. Otherwise, I would be everywhere, just being like pins. Yeah,
and
I'm
it's
very much
cool.
like a.
You
Oh,
can
yeah.
like trade them, right? Like you
Mhm.
can like get pins from different things, and you can be like, "Hey, so I've got this pin, and you've got that pin. You want to trade?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like a Corvid. I just like shiny baubles, and I don't think about it a lot. So like Millennium Blades is perfect for me because I just backed the Collusion Kickstarter, and it's very much at the point where I'm like, they're like, this is done, and I'm like, is it? And they're like, and I'm like, okay, we'll talk. But I got everything to the point where I'm like, okay, I am satisfied with my level of completion in it. I bought myself a promo card. I am pleased with it. My promo card breaks the game. I'm just really excited. It's gonna be great. But
So I feel like what you're
Is it an
saying
LCG?
is we need to make pins of our logo.
so I have some What's Eric playing pins. I keep losing them, which is why you never see them at conventions because they're in a bag. The bag is somewhere, and like I just moved, and I'm very much just like the bag is with Jesus now. Like I don't know quite where it is, but
I'm impressed that you just moved and your whole game shelf is all together all nicely.
this is the first thing I did because I was like,
Yeah.
when I sit in my office on like work calls, people are like, that shelf is very empty, and I'm like, yes, I'm aware. And now I sit in my call, and they're like, are all of those books? And I'm like, yes, I'm well read. Yeah. I love authors, Vonnegut, Kanitsa,
They technically all have books in them, right? They all
Scott
have
Allen.
They do,
It's true,
right?
and they're all books you've read, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like Elizabeth Hargrave. These are all some of my favorite authors.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
For Tessa.
So
like,
is Millennium Blades an LCG or a CCG?
No, it's neither. It's a CCG simulator. So it's a
interesting.
board game based off of the concept of a CCG. So what happens is you are Millennium Blades players who have a dream in your heart, about 15 Millennium bucks in your pocket, and you want to become the Millennium Blades World Champion. And so you are going to get 6 booster packs and a deck, and you are going to not stop until you are the world champion, come hell, high water, or a very complex system of real-time deck building.
And it's so fun because there's currency. You
cool.
buy decks as you go. You earn decks as part of like the tournaments that you're playing in. So then you can add and change your deck as you go along. And if you've ever been a fan of CCGs, my toe dip into CCGs was a game called Star Wars Destiny, which is dead now. But
CCGs tend to be.
yeah. But when I found Millennium Blades, I was like, I never have to invest in a game again because this is giving me that same feeling without having the heartbreak of whether or not it's going to last.
Me loudly. Instead of buying all these $3 booster packs, I can buy one $300 game and finally feel whole. And you're just like, no. Thankfully, there is an obscure line in the rule book, which is that if you bought a promo card of yourself off of the Kickstarter, so if you are a promo card in the game, you can always start with that card in your binder, and everyone else just gets a promo card from the same set. My card is game breaking, and I'm very excited to use it in a variety of hideous ways. So the card I got, I basically told the Millennium Blades folks, I was like, I love dexterity games. Please ruin this game a little bit for my benefit. And so what you do is when you play my card, you take one of the cubes that you have in your player area and you flick it. And it needs to land in another player's play area. If it lands on a number, you score that many points. Any number.
Oh, wow.
Any printed number on any surface.
Oh,
and so I'm
boy.
like, every card has its copyright year on it.
That's great.
And so I'm out here just aiming for that bottom right corner, being like, come on, I need 2,000 points.
And now I've won the game by flicking this thing.
Yep. So,
That's so funny.
keep an eye out for the collusion set. I'm finally getting my due.
That's hilarious.
Have you ever played Junk Art? That's another dexterity game that I am a huge fan of.
I have not played Junk Art, but I have my fair share of. Have you played Catch the Moon? Catch the Moon's probably my go-to.
I haven't. I'm gonna write that down.
Beautiful.
It's all ladder stacking, so you've got these ladders. And you want to try and like stack them up,
I think
and you
I've
can like
seen
just
that one.
jam a ladder inside of another ladder and be like, "Yep, that's staying there." And I basically
that's
tell people
great.
it's not a dexterity game; it's a confidence game because at a certain point you've insulted physics and God to such an extreme degree that only your confidence is keeping that structure afloat. And it's like, it's all about believing in yourself and not pesky things like gravity. Because I've seen things that don't work. Like I've seen structures that I'm like, that functionally cannot work. But whenever it's my turn, I believe that it'll stay up. And that's enough to keep it afloat.
I'm in. I'm so into that game.
Oh yeah, I think my one of my all-time favorite dexterity games is a small dojin indie Japanese card game called Hictaroon. And so in Hictaroon, you play cooperatively. You are young witches and wizards who are trying to become, like, basically solve all the problems in the land with your magic. And so what will happen is you'll be presented with a quest, and you can solve this quest by casting a spell. In order to cast a spell, you need the spell's ingredients and a caster card. And you can find all this by consulting your spell book. Your spell book is the deck of cards splayed like a pyramid, so like so. And what you'll do on your turn is you will reach in one-handed and pull out as many cards as you can while keeping the pyramid from tipping over.
Wow.
Oh,
That
that's
would not be a good game to play while we're drinking wine.
Oh, no.
No.
It is.
No.
It is an affront. I love it.
That sounds great, though.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Sounds amazing.
Well, I know Kirsten wanted to ask you about your photography.
Please.
I do. I just think that your that the photographs you do, the board game photographs you do, are amazing, but they're very unique too. The way you display them around in a circle, and there's a lot of beautiful board game photography, but yours has such a stamp to it, and I love it. So, were you a photographer first and needed to photograph for your blog, or were you writing? Were you writing and saying, you know what, I'm a photographer, let me take these great pictures? How did it happen, and what inspired you?
So my bad grades in my photography course in college would suggest that neither is quite the correct answer. I think I once got the second lowest score in my class midterm because I thought it was a photography class, and it was actually a 5-unit course on optics.
Oh.
And so I showed up for the midterm, and you ever have one of those moments where you're sitting in a class, you're like, I've never even been in this class. How am I supposed to do this midterm? And then you wake up. So it was like that.
Totally real.
I was awake the whole time, and it was terrible.
Oh no.
So that was not good. But no, the short version of this is basically when I was first starting writing, I was looking through and I was like, okay, I'm wordy. It's a known problem. There's just a lot of words. You need something to break up all the words, and you can only do so much work with headings. So I was like, I need some kind of photos or images or graphics to like break up the monotony of just here is everything that everyone could know about Catan, but with more words. I was halfway through like Googling some like Catan images to put on there, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't know a ton about copyright, but I can't imagine that this is kosher. And so I was like, I'm going to look into this. And they're like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. And I'm like, I should not do that. So I was like, well, I've got a DSLR and a head full of empties, so I might as well try it. So I took some terrible photos. I've since gone back and graciously edited some of the front-facing ones. Some of the bad ones are still there, but this is pre-Eric has any sense of lighting. And so I filled out my blog posts with just, here are all the photos that I think you need of the game. I don't understand things like framing a shot or how to display components or use of space, but that's okay. I'm never going to do this professionally anyways, I said, ironically, I guess. And so as we progressed, I started being like, well, this is certainly a way to look at the game, but I need to think about like more like, what's going to draw the eye? Like, why would I click on this versus like a photo of a box? And I was like, okay, well, maybe I can start getting a little bit clever with some of the arrangements. So like, I was actually pretty inspired by, there's a photographer who was doing some stuff on BGG and Twitter, Uplift Andrew, who has done a little bit less recently, but they were doing stuff for I Slay the Dragon. And so a lot of their work I found really inspiring. And so I was trying to come up with a sense of like my own photography language. And I've seen other people's stuff. I mean, like there's there are some standard languages, right? Like there's only so many ways to take a photo of a game in progress. We were just like, yep, I'm going to hold the camera at like this kind of angle, and I'm going to shoot it like this, etc. And then you start dealing with things like lighting, and like this is actually my office / photography studio. Photography studio is on that half of the room. But yeah, so I'd say the writing necessitated the photography, and now they kind of sustain each other equally. So I'll do a little bit of writing, a little bit of photography.
Yeah.
Follow up to that. Did you
Thank
go
you.
anywhere? Like, did you learn it from anything specifically, or was it mostly like through trial and error and looking at what other photographers did?
Trial and error. Like I was using Photoshop on and off since like the days of my youth, but like even then I'm still learning new tricks for things. I wouldn't say that I have any real like formal training, because as it turns out, skipping a lot of my digital photography lectures was a bad idea. I would find out months later. But I learned a little bit about photography there, but a lot of it's just controlling your lighting source and making sure that you're reducing glare, especially for board game photography. I think the two things that I see most often that cause problems, especially in my own photography, are bad use of lighting and glare. Because people will be like, oh, I can take a flash photo of a game box, but the game boxes are not super receptive, because you'll just get a super bad glare back. So you either need constant light, so you don't need that flash, or you need to manage the angle that you're shooting the flash at, so the game, like the board game box, does not produce glare back at you.
Yes, I have noticed that with the UV like gloss or the linen finish, sometimes it just bounces right back.
That, and particularly it's not gold leaf, but it's like the reflective metal covers on a lot of things. They just look bad unless I actually set up some lights and get some really good lighting setups, actually figure out the lighting problem. I have not yet cracked it as much. It's an area of growth, let's call it.
Yeah. Well, this is our very first show, and one of the things that has been kind of a topic for content creators, and of course Vision S does this, but the rest of us don't. This is our first thing, and one of the big topics has been curating your community and keeping that high level of. I mean, we want to be affirming and open and accepting, but we also want to make sure that nobody gets bullied. And you made a comment a couple weeks ago about having a good set of rules or something, and I was like, I'm going to pick your brain, and so here I am throwing it at you in our little conversation. What are a couple of things that we should do as new streamers to do a good job of curating our community?
Yeah, I mean, I think that right now you've got a pretty good set of folks hanging out in chat already, right? It's chatty, it's fun, it's what you really want for games like this, where you're just kind of hanging out, you're playing some games, you're drinking a little bit, and you're talking to folks. The problem is really, as your scope expands, people can start filtering in who don't necessarily have the same, let's call them shared values, as what you want to do or what you want to promote, and there are times and circumstances where you can not necessarily be perfectly aligned on values, but still communicate and socialize and have fun. But there are definitely things around acceptable language, acceptable terms, calling people by the name they choose to be called, base things that we think are fairly basic things that are then not necessarily within the language that other folks use. And now the tension there is, if someone does something that is not necessarily within our shared values, there's a temptation to be hey, you need to go. But that's not necessarily always the right solve for the right thing. It depends on necessarily the nature and manner of the infraction, of course. There is no one size fits all solution to this. I tend to try to approach these situations with empathy a little bit more, and to try and figure out look, this is a standard that we have set for our community. If you're willing to abide by that standard, then you're more than welcome to join us. If you're not willing to abide by that standard, I don't think this is a good fit, because also, frankly, you're not going to be happy here, right? And there are some people who are just yeah, no, this is not what I'm looking for in content, and that's fine. Naturally, there are for some reason, there are always going to be jerks who are just interested in coming in and tearing things down. There is no point in even discussing things with them. As far as
That's what that ban button is for.
Yeah,
fam.
exactly. I'm just like I'm even on Twitter. I'm very liberal about the like block and move on. Like there are a few times that I'm on Twitter and I see something and I'm just like, yeah, this is not worth me engaging with in any real sense. Block, move on. Like some people have just a long time ago committed themselves to just being actively destructive, and best intentions and like good conversation are not going to sway them. So I think spending some time figuring out like what corrective behavior you want to invest in is a really good way to structure how you want to build your community. Like if it's like a friend of mine said something that kind of sucks, I can reach out to them and be like, hey, I observed this behavior and this is the result that came from it. Like this is harmful. Please consider like not doing this in the future. And I'd say 99% of the time, the response I get is, oh gosh, I didn't even realize. I'm so sorry. It won't happen again. Because that's, I tend to deal with fairly reasonable people. Like every so often I'll get someone who's like, I think it was on Instagram the other day. I had someone who was like upset about a photo of games. And I'm just at a certain point, like we're going back and forth and I'm just like, what exactly are you like looking for here, bud? Like, are you just coming here to trash them? Or is there like, are you upset about something? Or is there like something that I've done to like cause you to react this way? And they got even more mad because like, frankly, for a lot of trolls, the worst thing, like the one thing they're not expecting is any sort of empathy. They are only looking for like you to get even madder. So approaching them with like, hey, like, is there anything I could be doing? Will just cause them to escalate a bit. And then you can be like, fine, block, bye.
Absolutely. I think you're right. It's like that reaction that they're looking for. And if you don't give them that reaction, then they're not.
Right.
That's what they want. You say, what exactly are you looking for here? It's that reaction.
Right. And because they can't say, oh, I just came here to make you angry. And you're like, well, I mean, like, I've been tired for a year. So, like, you're not going to get a rise out of me. So go elsewhere.
Yeah. That's so real.
Like, yeah, I'm like, look, man, I'm exhausted constantly. If you're looking to get a rise out of me, you're gonna have to wait until like, I don't know, post-vaccine when I can be like angry about different stuff again. Yeah. Alkali Metals got it in the comments. Trolls are fun to ban. Like you just there's no point. Like there's two types of things to think about when you're banning a troll, though. There is both taking them out very quickly and then establishing for the community at large that behavior is unacceptable. A lot of people only think about one or the other, and it's important to do both. It's important to have like the, hey, this behavior happened. We're sorry to anyone who experienced it. It won't happen again. And to other people in the chat, we want to emphasize this is unacceptable. It sets a clear boundary and it sets a like clear standard for like, if you emulate this behavior again, you are not welcome in the community, and it kicks out a troll. I just largely find, don't mess with them. I see enough of them on Twitter that I'm just like, block, chain block, move on.
I think on Twitch, I found that in general, the board game community on Twitch is amazing. I don't get a lot of troll type behavior, but if I'm streaming something like Final Fantasy, like MMORPG or something, that's where I tend to see some more of that type of toxic behavior.
Yeah, some people are just like combing like games they like, being like, haha, yes, today I'm going to make someone else feel as terrible as I feel all the time. And you're like,
I want to help those people.
I mean,
they need emotional assistance.
Like, I played Twilight Imperium for fun. You're not going to make me feel worse than that, dude. So.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm just very much just like, well, I hope whatever made you feel this way stops. Bye.
Yeah.
Please get out of my Instagram.
Yeah. Yep. Does somebody else have a question for Eric?
Well, Eric, you just mentioned whenever we get to that glorious post-vaccine world, I'm curious, when it's safe to attend in-person conventions again, like what's the number one thing you want to do? I know it's hard to imagine.
Yeah, my brain was processing the phrasing when it's safe to attend an in-person convention again, then it just spooled off into the night. It's one of those like I paused for a bit and like the sound of silence started spooling up in the background in like my like internal monologue. I mean, I'll be honest, I just miss my friends. Like that's the core, right? Is that like it would be really, really nice to see the people that I like care about and like hang out with regularly again. There's not a whole lot more to it. Like games, I got the games covered. That's fine. I can play more. Like I can. We've done Tabletopia, we've done that stuff, but there is something about the like physicality of in-person gaming and just like in-person connection that I deeply miss. And I'm just like, yeah, it would be nice to get back to it. I also like, so I'm a trash fire. I like Gen Con. I know Gen Con's got like its own thing, and it's definitely not for everybody. But something about the like high energy conventions like PAX Unplugged, Gen Con, I really miss, because I do in a like sick way kind of miss having like 15 consecutive meetings in one day and just being like, oops, forgot to schedule a lunch break. Guess I'm doing one of those meetings while we're running to get lunch together and running back. And like there is something, I don't know, there's something satisfying about it. Something that makes me feel like, yes, this is the hustle that I want to have for this sort of thing. So I'd say probably those two things. Like beyond that, like I am thankful that I am both privileged and fortunate enough to be in regular communication with a lot of my like the media folks at different companies. So like I've got review copies coming in for games. It's not like I'm like out here being like, there are no games for me to play. Like, and I have also been fortunate to see a lot of like publishers' catalogs coming down the pipe for like 2021, and there are a lot of publishers that are going to have a very good year. Suffice it to say, I was looking at some of them, and I was just like, it's like Cosmos, you shouldn't have, and like just a lot of stuff to be excited about there. But it's like if the gaming was the only reason that I joined the board gaming community, I would be doing that, right? Like I'm on streams, I'm hanging out, I'm doing calls, not because I like the gaming is an avenue to building relationships that I care about and value, and I miss the physically emphasizing those relationships.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I have.
Oh yeah. The last thing I was thinking is like the thing I miss is not meeting with one of my like friends who works for a like board game publisher. I miss the like dragging one of my friends who's newer to content creation to my friend who works for a publisher and being like, you two should meet. Bye, and then running off.
So basically you're saying we all need to come to Gen Con so you can set us all up with the right publishers.
I mean, if you want to hang out, like I'm always like if you can successfully catch me at Gen Con, I'm usually down to hang out, because that means that I've now stopped moving enough that I can be like physically perceived. Like usually I'm just like, all right, it's 8 a.m. I gotta get there by 9 because I'm like helping a friend set up their booth. And then as soon as the exhibit hall opens, I've got 6 hours of meetings, and I've walked 30,000 steps. I can't feel my legs, and I'm going to have a mediocre dinner.
Let's get PAX Unplugged instead and have an excellent dinner.
There's a banchan right near the PAX Unplugged convention hall. So like I'm a huge Korean fried chicken fan. So like
there you go.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I can't undersell banchan.
Eric, I do have one question. So I see an enormous display of games behind you, and I'm curious to what your shelving strategies are. Like
size.
What is your method to that madness? Like
it is purely by size. So I take my largest games. So I take there's some flexibility to it, but it's generally what I did was well, that's not true. When the movers packed up all my games, I was emotionally prepared for the idea that I was never going to be able to sort them again. I managed to figure out a rough system. I got all of the games up here. That took, and I really want to be clear, several days, because you can only lift so many like 60 or 70 pound boxes in a day before you just can't really like feel the arm bones anymore. But once I got them all up here, my strategy was, okay, I need to get them all out of the boxes. That took another 2 days. Because I have to do my job as well at the same time. Like I have a real job in real life. But once I got that done, I wanted to organize them roughly by size. So I put all the games that were the same box size roughly together, so that when I actually did a stream of this a while back. But what I did was since they were all the same size, it was very easy to just put them on the shelves like one at a time and go like bloop 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 bloop, move up, and then just keep going from there.
Oh, we had a little moment there where we all kind of like boop 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 boop.
Oh,
did we?
I didn't notice.
Oh yeah, it's still fine on my end.
Yeah. Oh wait, not me.
Okay, Raven, you're in the hot seat.
You're in the hot seat right now, Raven.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I see Pandemic Legacy. What else do I see?
The ones you don't see are a little bit higher up for some reason, and people
Oh
are
my
going
God.
to critique.
And
Oh
Gloomhaven.
my God.
Yeah, someone is going to correctly ask, but Eric, why did you put the Gloomhaven on the tallest shelf? And like, because I didn't plan for it.
Also, it's heavy, so like as we're reaching all the way up there to
I've
get it, and
made my choice. Like, I had a vision when I was doing it of me like pulling Gloomhaven and then slipping and it just falling off the shelf, and me being like, no, it was always going to end this way, and that's being how I go. Like I've made a very specific kind of piece with it.
he
Like,
died as he lived under a big box.
Yeah, exactly. So you're just like you feel your hands like slip a bit as you're looking up at it, and you're like, oh, no, this is fine. Yeah, no, I made a lot of peace with that a long time ago.
Are there a lot of unopened boxes inside, or have you taken everything out of it?
I haven't even bothered with it. I literally, my uncle got it for me for Christmas this year, and I was like, oh, but I haven't talked to any of my friends in a long time, like physically in person. And so I was like, okay. And then I moved in February, and I was like, well, I'm not going to bother taking it out of the box until I move. So I took the shrink off of it. I had this like vision in my head that I was going to punch out a bunch of games before I moved, because like then I won't have to move all the extra heavy cardboard. And so I did like that for 3 games, and I was like, I am now bored. And so,
That was good logic, though.
Yeah.
For a hot second.
oh yeah, no, it really it lasted. It was a beautiful dream for a couple seconds. Like it was me being like, I will do this, and I am now tired of it. Yeah, no, I actually had a fun like, there's a fun little bell curve, I guess, in board gaming. Or maybe it's like a little drop off where like when you first get board games, people are like, oh, are you punching out your board game? You're like, no, it's mine. Only I get to punch the game.
Right.
And now like I go to a board game night, and then they're like, oh, this game isn't punched yet. Do you want it? And I was like, no.
Please take these pieces out.
I was like,
Games
oh,
enough for a lifetime.
I was like, I'm so tired. You do it. I'll read the rule book. Just like deliver me from
I'll
this.
scan the rule book while I try to figure out what this is so we can play in a decent amount of time.
Oh God, yeah. And that's how you get rules mistakes. And they're like, how dare you not tell us the rules? And I was like, I really did think that I said that you could do that if you spent 3 energy on your turn. I'm sorry.
My favorite is when you do actually say that, and then people are like, you didn't say that. And I'm like, but I did. Were you listening?
Well, no, they were texting. Like every game group's got that one person who's like, and then they're like, wait, how dare you? I didn't hear that rule. And you're like, I mentioned it 3 times and said, hey, did you hear this? And they're like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got.
What is your role in
Go ahead.
your game group? I'm dying to know. Like, are you always the rule read person? Are you?
Yes, and I hate it.
Ah.
This goes out to my friend Jonathan, who used to be our rules person. Then he went and got married to the love of his life.
Oh, man.
I was the best man at his wedding, and I was like, this is a beautiful wedding. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, you know, when the priest is like, if anyone thinks these 2 should not wed, and I'm like, I'm at the altar standing there with like the rings in my hand being like, I just don't know who's going to explain the rules to these games anymore. And I'm not thinking about it, but I'm not thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
I'm like, is this selfish? And someone's like, yes. And you're like, okay, it might be selfish, but is it is it so terrible? And they're like, yes. And you're like, okay, it might be selfish and terrible, but am I unjustified? And they're like, yes. Like,
Maybe not unjust.
yeah, I'm like, okay, I hear you, and you said a lot of hurtful things about me that are apparently correct, but also, what if I did do this? But yeah, no, I'm the rules person. I'm the provides games person. I am the like, yeah. So usually in the before times, I would host like maybe a monthly game night at my place and a yearly charity raffle. So that was the big thing. Is that a lot of these games, while beautiful and special and loved in all their own ways, are not necessarily games that I want to keep forever. And so every year I'll host a charity raffle, and I'll be like, here are a bunch of games. Some of them are games I reviewed. Some of them are games that publishers have provided, and we're just going to raffle them off while y'all play games at my house for like 12 hours.
Oh my God, that sounds
Awesome.
amazing. How do we end up on that invite list?
I mean, if you're local to the San Francisco Bay Area, I do it with
are you
Netters.
San Francisco?
Yeah.
Oh, I used to be out there.
Aww,
Oh yeah,
that's fun to me.
I do it with Netters of Netters Place.
I was in San Jose for like a year and a half.
Oh yeah, I'm basically halfway between. I'm a little bit south of Palo Alto.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just because you kind of have to be south of Palo Alto to live in the Bay Area these days.
Yeah.
Oh, Palo Alto.
I was East Bay, but yeah.
Yeah, you get me. Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, no, you come over, we raffle off some games, you play a bunch of games. The fun thing is actually, if someone plays my copy of a game, then they like it so much that they end up winning it in the raffle. So, like, that's always a good time. And then we just donate all the money to charity.
Oh, that's great.
Very cool. What
Yeah,
determines what you cover for when you talk about your reviews and stuff? How do you determine what you're going to cover?
Arbitrarily. I in my bones, I wish that there were a better review scheme than like whatever. Like, so like, for instance, Resonym courteously sent me a preview copy of Ghost Writer, and I've since written it up and etc. But that is like, I ask them, oh, when's your Kickstarter launching, so I can like time my content to when the Kickstarter launches. Beyond that, unless I get like a specific ask from a publisher, and even then, I try to do that, honor those if I can, but I need like 2 months because I got a little depressed during the quarantine, so it became hard to write. And so I'm using a bunch of air quotes, but the reality,
very valid things.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the reality of the situation is that it was very difficult to write for a little while, so that slowed down my process. Thankfully, I have both a regular buffer, which is like, I'm about 2 weeks ahead on my reviews right now, give or take. I need to write a Carpe Diem. And I'm on top of that, I have another like 4-ish weeks of like, in case of a global emergency, break this glass buffer of like reviews I've written for games. And so in, I want to say February, or no, I guess April maybe of last year, I was just like smashing that glass and being like, what do I got still in here? Because I just needed a few weeks off. But yeah, no, so right now it's basically just like, whatever, especially now, it's what I can talk my housemates into playing, what I feel like playing in the moment. So like, I think right now I have 4 games sort of circulating out in my brain space. So I've got Waddle Downtown from WizKids, Durian from Oink Games, Masterword from Scorpion Masqué, and then Carpe Diem from Aaliyah Ravensburger that are on my like, oh, I played those recently and I need to write them up. And that's sort of how we determine the timetables of stuff. If it's just like, if it was purely a like when I get things in, that's a not great way to do that, because I get things in like, sometimes I'll get like a box in the mail that's just like, here's 4 copies of the Sherlock files. And I'm like, well, I can't do all of these in the same week, but thank you. But no, beyond that, it's a combination of like, sometimes like if I have enough Oink games, so like I think Oink just finished their Kickstarter, so they're sending 5-ish games my way because I bought too many Oink games. I love Oink. They're the I just love them. But so like when those all arrive, I'll probably spend like 5 weeks just being like, here's a week, here's an Oink game, here's a week, here's an Oink game, and just like try to do like a month or so of that. And I'll occasionally do like month-long features if I've got enough.
Do you have a favorite Oink?
Nine Tiles Panic is usually my like snap answer. I love the theme, I love the gameplay. Durian is very good though. Like Durian is up and coming. It's very much it has a lot of the same energy as Deep Sea Adventure, but it's not. It's a very different game. So like someone out there is watching the stream being like, those aren't the same games at all. I'm like, yeah, I know. But it's a very cute like bluffing game about like, oh, how much do I know about what cards y'all have? I like it a lot. But there are very few Oink games I don't like. Like in terms of like publishers that don't miss, Oink is pretty high on that list for me, just in terms of like pure averages.
I would say I have two questions for you. One's kind of related to that. So if you've reviewed a lot of games at this point, but are there any that like stand out as like you were particularly excited to do the review for them? Mm-hmm. And then kind of following up with that is, do you have any advice for people that are looking to get into reviewing board games and how they might be able to do that?
Oh yeah, so there are a bunch of games that I'm very excited to review. So like, there's a game I've been wanting to review for a while, and I just recently got it, and it's no. So they mirror the thing. So my right is always my left, but no, I did it again. Cryptid is, hold on, got it there. He's done it, yeah. So I could have just said Cryptid, and I was like, no, I'm going to do something laborious, and that really paid off. But I've been very excited to try Cryptid. I've been very enthused about like Fireball Island, some of the Zombie Kids games, basically a lot of family weight dexterity titles as well. And I'm very fortunate that I have some contacts from like outside the US, like Happy Baobab Games or Mandu or even like Emperor S4 I've reviewed games for in the past, Itten as well. And that's been that's been a lot of fun to be able to do that stuff. So those are probably what I'm most excited about, is games that are usually outside of like, I like reviewing games that are within the mainstream as well. Like I've got Gloomhaven up there, Pandemic Legacy is around, like, but I like that there are some things that I can use by platform to talk about that don't necessarily get as much direct traffic normally. So a lot of the games that I get from like Ayako and Big Cat, like the indie Japanese titles, I've been really, really enthusiastic about. In terms of advice for new reviewers, I'll be quick on this one, but the best thing that you can do is consistency. So every publisher I talk to, when I ask like, what are you looking for from a reviewer? They're like, I want to see consistent output. I don't want to be like, even if it's not consistently our output, right? I don't want to just throw games into the ether and you're like, thanks for the games, nerds, as you like jet off into the night on a very overladen motorcycle. They want to see like you being able to say, okay, every month I publish 2 reviews. I publish a review on the 15th and a review on the 29th. And I do that every month without fail. And I've done that for a little while. It might be 3 months that takes, but it's like I was pushing 5 reviews a week for a little while there because I hate myself, I guess. But yeah, I hated the idea of free time. But that's not really a sustainable or healthy pace for a variety of reasons. But like that's not what you need to be like consistent, right? If you're pushing 1 a week, 1 every other week, I think that's fine as long as the publisher is also like as long as it aligns a bit with also what the publisher wants to cover. If you're like, I only cover 4X games that were set during World War II. I don't know the 4X games. This is a bad example, but this is how I write as well. I'll just like write something. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, and then cut the sentence out. But if you're like doing heavy games, like if you're like doing Twilight Imperium 100%, every stream's a Twilight Imperium stream. You're like, also Haba. I think I can really talk about my first Animal Upon Animal, if that's what it's called. If that's not what it's called, I'm sorry. But they may be like, that's not like a super cool fit for our channel, but also like. The other advice that I would give, which almost contradicts the advice I just gave, is also like write content for you. Don't make content that you're not interested in. Like if you're making content that you wouldn't consume, that means that you may not be bringing the right energy to that conversation. And it means that if you're making content just because you want, if you're making content because you want publishers to send you free games, I don't know what you get paid, but I have to assume your hourly rate is probably better than whatever you think you're getting in terms of content to games ratio. It's like, as much as I know that we are all, rolling in the money from big cardboard, that's not really like, there are very few people who do this full time.
Yeah.
There's kind of
Yeah.
several
Definitely.
reasons for that. So like if you're not excited about your own output, you need to either realign what output you're doing, or you need to realign how you think about your output, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's my take at least.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. So, when is your ghostwriter review going to get published?
What's today? Today is the
Third.
3rd of March. So that means if they're going up on the 16th for their Kickstarter,
They
I'll
are.
be live with mine on the 15th. I am always right before.
Outstanding.
Lets you ride the wave.
Any spoilers on? I know I
mean,
enjoyed it.
I was gonna say, I like as someone who partially suggested Ghostwriter for the stream, I also tend not to suggest games that I don't like. So
Yeah,
Me.
thank you so much. How do you say the
Absolutely.
publishing company? Resonym? Is that
Resonym?
right?
Yeah.
Resonym. We have to thank them very much for letting us debut with Ghostwriter.
Yeah, it was
Excited
great.
for it.
One thing I particularly like about Resonym is that they put a lot of effort into making games with interesting themes that communicate themselves well through their gameplay. So like I like Mechanica is one of my all-time favorite game themes. Like you are running a definitely not evil Roomba factory. Like those robots aren't murdery. It's rude for you to even suggest it. And so you're building an engine to produce these definitely pleasant and polite robot vacuums. Like, yeah, that one's got a knife, but like not in a mean way, just in a normal like robot vacuum with a knife way. Like I like to
I need to play this game. I've never heard of this before. That sounds fantastic.
It has its thumbs on both like cute and sinister in like equal amount, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, Alkali Metal correctly notes that you should completely ignore the little robot vacuums you get inside the game that have an angry face. They are just sad. Like it comes with like tiny little robot vacuums that you can build with your little engine. It's very cute.
Awesome.
But
I will tell you that the majority of games that I have in my house are bought for some sort of like game piece reason. That's good enough. Like little tiny vacuums with sad faces, but
I'm a theme guy myself, so I will largely like when I buy either for art because I trust the publisher or for the theme, and I have very rarely been disappointed. Which unfortunately just means that whatever Oink Games comes around, I'm just like, how much do you want? There are few publishers that I will do that for, but it's like, oh yeah, no, you've consistently made games that I love, so.
Oh, I love Mechanica. It's such a good game.
Mechanica is, the theme of it is just so.
It's so cute.
Perfect.
It is. It's great. All right, well, great. We've got about 5 minutes to wrap up. Do you have any like final words of wisdom for us as we embark on this?
Oh, I've never had words of wisdom. But I'll shift wisdom for gratitude. Thank you again so much for letting me be on the inaugural stream for y'all. I love that you're doing this. I think that this kind of stuff is really important because it's just the fabric of our community is a lot of time people just getting together with like an idea and just sitting down and doing it. And I think that the hardest thing to do is there are two difficult things, two challenges. The first thing is to do something, and the second thing is to do it consistently. So you've cleared the first hurdle. I think that is very difficult, but I'm looking forward to you clearing the second.
I don't think we talked about how inspirational you were to all of us, how we started.
Absolutely.
But you're instrumental in this even happening. So we thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm flattered and happy that I could do that because I'm really excited about this. I think it's great.
Yeah, I also want to shout out to our stream manager, Mike Belsel, who also was instrumental in helping get this to happen. Thanks, Mike. We love you so much, and Grace as well. But thanks for helping us today.
Thank you, Mike.
5 of us are from the Tabletop Mentorship Program, and so I think we all can say if you are a tabletop game designer, an artist, or I don't know,
content creator,
anything, content creator, absolutely, that it is an absolutely wonderful program. So We recommend joining, whether you're a mentor or a mentee or both. You can do both at the same time.
Here,
All right,
here.
girls, any final thoughts as we close?
Cheers to our first stream.
Just
Thanks for
gratitude.
joining.
Yes.
You're here.
Thank you so much,
Eric.
Eric. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Yeah, thank you for
Eric.
having me.
Thank you,
Thank
Resonym
you.
For
Games.
joining.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you, everyone,
Eric.
for
Thank you so much,
coming.
Mike. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Kisses to all of our viewers. Good night.